In an era where philosophy is often confined to academic institutions and historical records, there remain contemporary thinkers who continuously challenge our perception of reality, our understanding of morality, politics, and consciousness. These individuals are neither relics of a bygone era nor distant figures articulating abstract ideas detached from practical life. They are living philosophers, actively engaging with the pressing issues of our time, persistently questioning the assumptions we often accept without scrutiny. Through their work, they keep the flame of critical thinking alive in an age saturated with information but often devoid of meaningful reflection. If philosophy resonates with you, it is worthwhile to stay informed about these enduring conversations. There exists a prevalent notion that philosophy concluded with the monumental figures of the past. However, a closer examination reveals that it remains an evolving and dynamic field. Many contemporary philosophers have integrated philosophical inquiry into current debates, addressing issues such as artificial intelligence, the pervasive influence of narratives, and the elusive nature of truth in the digital landscape. Others have critically examined our concepts of justice, identity, and the delicate balance between emotion and reason. Each of these thinkers, in their unique way, forges new intellectual pathways in a world that frequently seeks refuge in comforting certainties. They are not individuals who appear regularly in the media spotlight nor personalities intent on cultivating public celebrity. Rather, they are philosophers who continue to write, debate, and shape the intellectual discourse of our time, despite remaining relatively unknown to the broader public. In the following sections, we shall explore the contributions of 5 such philosophers. The aim is not merely to understand their ideas but to underscore the enduring relevance of philosophical thought. Philosophy remains vital precisely because there are still unresolved questions. As long as humanity grapples with the complexities of existence, philosophy cannot be considered obsolete. One of the most influential philosophers currently living is Jürgen Habermas, a German intellectual whose work has profoundly redefined our understanding of democracy, communication, and rationality in modern society. Born in 1929, Habermas has spent several decades investigating how public discourse can generate consensus within increasingly fragmented societies. His seminal theory of communicative action posits that the foundation of a just society does not lie in coercion or manipulation, but in rational dialogue. According to Habermas, genuine societal progress depends on our ability to engage in argumentation and attentive listening with the objective of achieving mutual understanding. In a world where social media platforms frequently reduce public debate to entrenched ideological positions, Habermas's vision seems more pertinent than ever. He maintains that politics and society are at their most effective when individuals reason together without ideological constraints or distortions undermining the exchange of ideas. However, this commitment to dialogue does not imply a relativistic view of truth or an uncritical acceptance of all opinions as equally valid. Habermas insists that communicative rationality requires intellectual honesty, empirical evidence, and a sincere willingness to reconsider one's position when confronted with superior reasoning. Far from being a utopian ideal or an exercise in nostalgia for an idealized past, his philosophy offers a concrete response to the contemporary crisis of misinformation and cynicism that permeates public discourse. Habermas reminds us that without a shared commitment to reason over manipulation, democracy itself becomes hollow. His work serves as a powerful reminder that philosophy is not merely a theoretical endeavor but an essential tool for the preservation and restoration of democratic societies. In an era characterized by disinformation and extreme polarization, his insistence on truth, however uncomfortable, is crucial. Philosophy, for Habermas, is not simply a lens for analyzing the world. It can also play a pivotal role in healing its divisions. Another contemporary philosopher who persistently challenges conventional thinking is Slavoj Žižek. Born in Slovenia in 1949, Žižek has become one of the most provocative and polarizing figures in modern philosophy. His body of work draws upon psychoanalysis, Marxist theory, and cultural criticism, presented in a style that oscillates between rigorous analysis and caustic humor. Žižek is far from a traditional academic. His lectures often resemble improvisational performances that transition seamlessly from the philosophy of Hegel to contemporary cinema without losing intellectual coherence. Beneath this seemingly chaotic delivery lies a trenchant critique of the prevailing social order and the ideologies that perpetuate it. Žižek does not limit his critique to capitalism itself but also scrutinizes the superficial forms of resistance it generates. He exposes how multinational corporations have commodified activism, transforming social responsibility into marketable goods that alleviate consumer guilt without affecting meaningful systemic change. For Zizek, the central issue of contemporary society is not solely exploitation but also the intricate mechanisms of self-deception that enable us to endure it. He challenges us to consider whether our purported critiques of the system are genuine or merely symbolic acts that leave underlying structures intact. His philosophy is often discomforting because it compels us to acknowledge the extent to which our notions of freedom, justice, and progress may be comforting illusions. Zizek confronts us with the unsettling question of whether we genuinely desire to transform the world or whether we merely seek to feel morally justified within its current framework. In a time when critical thinking is frequently reduced to performative outrage and rebellion is commodified as a lifestyle choice, Zizek's work serves as a stark reminder that philosophy is not designed to offer reassurance but to illuminate inconvenient truths. It challenges us to confront the realities we prefer to ignore. Martha Nussbaum stands out as another of the most influential living philosophers, having significantly altered contemporary understandings of justice, ethics, and the role of emotion in political life. Born in 1947 in the United States, Nussbaum's extensive scholarship has explored the complex relationship between rationality and emotion. She challenges the long-held assumption that emotions are impediments to clear, rational thought. For Nussbaum, emotions such as compassion, indignation, and empathy are indispensable for constructing a more equitable society. One of her most impactful contributions is the development of the capabilities approach to human development. Rather than assessing a society's progress solely in terms of economic indicators, Nussbaum contends that true advancement must be measured by the extent to which individuals can realize their inherent potential. Economic growth, in isolation, is insufficient if large segments of the population continue to lack access to education, healthcare, and political participation. For Nussbaum, a genuinely just society is one in which all individuals are afforded the opportunity to live dignified, fulfilling lives with the freedom to determine their own destinies. What distinguishes her philosophical approach is her unwavering insistence that justice cannot be formulated solely through abstract principles. Human existence is not a logical construct, and the most pressing social issues, poverty, discrimination, and violence, cannot be resolved through detached, impersonal reasoning alone. Nussbaum argues that philosophy must engage with the full spectrum of human experience, acknowledging that emotions play a crucial role in guiding ethical understanding and compassionate action. Byung-Chul Han is another contemporary philosopher whose work merits serious consideration. Born in South Korea in 1959 and currently residing in Germany, Han has conducted a meticulous analysis of modern society's underlying pathologies. His concise, incisive writings read like clinical diagnoses of an era characterized by emotional exhaustion, hyperproductivity, and self-imposed exploitation. One of Han's most recognized concepts is that of the burnout society. He argues that while previous forms of repression were externally imposed by authoritarian regimes, contemporary societies encourage individuals to become their own oppressors. The demand for constant productivity, efficiency, and self-optimization has transformed the ideal of personal freedom into a relentless imperative to perform. Han suggests that the supposed autonomy of the modern individual often masks a deeper enslavement to the imperatives of achievement and competition. Individuals voluntarily exploit themselves, and when they fail to meet these escalating demands, they do not critique the system but internalize the blame, perceiving their shortcomings as personal failures rather than systemic consequences. Moreover, Han examines how digitalization and perpetual connectivity have diminished the space for contemplative thought and introspection. The incessant bombardment of information, coupled with the addictive dynamics of social media, has fragmented attention and eroded the capacity for sustained reflection. For Han, the central malady of contemporary existence is not merely physical exhaustion but an existential fatigue, a society that has lost the ability to be still, to embrace idleness without guilt, and to engage in moments of quiet reflection. Peter Sloterdijk is another significant philosopher whose work continues to challenge and expand our conceptual horizons. Born in Germany in 1947, Sloterdijk is known for his provocative style and his capacity to integrate philosophy with psychology, politics, and cultural theory. He rejects many traditional philosophical categories, instead deconstructing them through a critical lens informed by both humor and skepticism. One of Sloterdijk's most influential ideas is his theory of spheres, which serves as a metaphor for the symbolic, cultural, and social constructs that humans inhabit. These spheres, be they religious, ideological, or economic, function as protective enclosures that provide meaning and security. However, modernity has witnessed the gradual collapse of these protective spheres. Globalization, the fragmentation of knowledge, and the decline of grand narratives have left individuals exposed to an increasingly disorienting reality where absolutes are scarce. Sloterdijk has also explored the implications of technology and biopolitics in redefining the human condition. He argues that humanity is entering a historical phase where biological evolution is no longer the sole determinant of human destiny. Innovations in genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology have made it possible for humans to actively shape their own evolution. Sloterdijk poses a profound and unsettling question. Are we prepared to assume responsibility for directing our own biological and existential development? His reflections compel us to consider whether humanity is truly equipped to navigate the ethical and existential challenges posed by its newfound technological capabilities. The work of these contemporary philosophers serves as a vital reminder. Philosophy is not a static relic but an evolving dialogue that remains central to understanding and navigating the complexities of the modern world. Habermas emphasizes the indispensable role of rational dialogue in sustaining democratic societies. Zizek exposes the ideological illusions that constrain our thinking, even within our own belief systems. Nussbaum highlights the necessity of integrating emotion into our conceptions of justice. Hahn warns of modernity's transformation of freedom into self-imposed servitude. Sloterdijk invites us to confront the unprecedented ethical dilemmas arising from humanity's technological self-modification. What is most remarkable about these thinkers is not only the substance of their arguments but the innovative ways in which they communicate them. Each has succeeded in reinvigorating philosophical discourse, ensuring its relevance in a rapidly changing world. They have resisted the temptation to merely reiterate established doctrines, opting instead to reinterpret contemporary challenges with a clarity often absent from popular media and superficial commentary. Philosophy persists because unanswered questions remain. The world continues to present us with contradictions, complexities, and uncertainties that demand rigorous examination. There will always be those who dare to look beyond the surface, challenge the status quo, and envision new frameworks for understanding human existence. While one need not agree with every position these philosophers advocate, it is essential to acknowledge that their work compels us to question what we typically accept without reflection. In that moment of doubt, in the discomfort of intellectual confrontation, philosophy demonstrates its enduring necessity.